Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day like always. So anyway, this is not going to be like my usual videos, which is usually about my streams or some Roblox videos, which I usually do. Which, by the way, if you're wondering about that, or if you're wondering first time here just for Mugen, I also stream, which my Twitch link will be right here real quick. Anyway, to get right to the chase, this video is about a game which many people seem to know about, but for those who are wondering what the hell is this, this is a game called Mugen. Mugen is a freeware 2D fighting game engine designed by Electrobyte, and which, by the way, is completely free. The engine basically makes it so that you could basically make your own fighting game no matter how small, how big, and large it is. As long as the application could run, certain moves on it, it completely is fine. So people have created some crazy stuff with this. For example, like Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, or just recreate full fighting games just from it. Or even story mode. There's so many things that the community has created, but this is a community-based game, and because of it, I have created my own personal fighting game, which I really appreciate. Which, by the way, if you're not new here, you guys already know that I play Mugen a lot on my streams. This is one of the first games I've ever streamed in my life. Actually, might be the first game I ever streamed in my life. But anyway, I've been playing this for quite a while, and for those who are already, from here and already have played the game, you already know that if you're in the Discord, you already know a lot about this game. The game is called Project Turtle. I've created this game over, I'll say about more than almost a year ago, actually. But though I've been publicly updating it for more than 2 fucking months, or around 3 months, 2 months and a half, around there. I've been updating this game for quite a while though, and a lot of people seem to like it. I remember when I first created this game, so many people kept asking me, hey, I want to try it out, whatever. And I at the time, they just, I wanted to play just to play, but see, a lot of people just want to try it out for this. So like, okay, let me work around it. And then from there, from just releasing the direct upload to deliberately updating the game by like nerfing or buffing certain character hitboxes and all that type of shit. So in here I'm going to be teaching you how to play Mugen, as in like giving you guys a little basic tutorial on how to play basic fighting game knowledge, and also Mugen knowledge that some fighting games wouldn't really have, but it's only unique to Mugen. And also to help you guys really set up the download and all that, because some people get confused on that. And of course, how to deal with online, which, by the way, you need an application called Parsec, which we'll be going into later. So these are the first couple steps on how to set up Project Turtle. Basically, this is a very simple rundown on how to get Project Turtle, the Mugen. Well, first off, you have to join my Discord, which of course I've said before, the link is down below. So if you want to have my Project Turtle game Mugen, you have to join my Discord. So join real quick, and before you even see all this, you're gonna need to go to role select and get the Mugen Fanatic role. It basically enables you to see the Mugen announcements channel, which I showed you right here, as well as Mugen suggestions, which makes you be able to suggest new characters for if we ever get to there as well, or especially the most important ones is like new stages, new soundtrack, and of course, even more importantly, the balance changes of the characters, nerf or buff certain characters. So if you want to be a part of all that and want to play part of my Mugen and play it, make sure you have this rule, okay? Once said, depending on what update I am or what announcement I make, you go to Mugen announcements and scroll through all the things here, because over here I also do the balance changes and like go in detail on how it is. So for example, like here Grimjaw does not do a 500 health, and Archer's Calibre is completely blockable. Like shit like that is gonna be placed in this Mugen announcement, so it might take you time to realize which one's which, right? But one of these announcements is where the full game is, okay? For example, this right here, as we're recording, this is the most recent version of Project Turtle, and it's going to be in a form of a Google Drive, which you will be able to click and accept to download it, okay? It's completely safe. It's a Google Drive that I made myself, so don't need to worry about that, okay? Once you click on the link, by the way, it's gonna pop up a tab like this, by the way, okay? This is gonna be the tab that pops up, which is the Google Drive itself. It's gonna be say that this is from an unregistered person that we have to accept, whatever. All you have to do is press download and accept that it's completely safe, which it is, by the way. Multiple people have already tried it, so you need to worry about that, all right, guys? So once you do, you download it and let it load, alright guys? Once downloaded, it's gonna pop like this. By the way, not all downloads are gonna be very quick. It really depends on your computer and internet power. I've had issues in the past where people took I don't know, like 2-3 hours to download, or even more, depending if you're how the servers are for you, or like internet problems, and of course your computer. Or if I like people who are like me who have it downloaded under 5-10 minutes, so it won't be that large of a download. It's currently 5 gigabytes, so make sure you guys have space for it. It's very worth it, as you guys do. Anyway, once downloaded, it's gonna pop up as this, or whatever, Project Turtle 1. Whatever version it is. This is the current version as I am right now, 1.3, and all you gotta do is extract all, okay? And then this is gonna pop up, which is gonna, you know, this is my little desktop thing, whatever, and then you do extract when done, wherever you want to do it. I have my own external hard drive, so I won't be doing this on my desktop, plus I already have it here ready. So just go like this, whatever you want, and extract it, and it should be extracted. The extraction should take around 5-7 minutes depending on your computer. For me it takes about 3 because of my computer, but whatever it takes, it shouldn't take long. Once completely downloaded, it's gonna pop up like this, Project Turtle 1.3. You're gonna click on the thing, and then here it does. So this is gonna pop up. This is the actual game. All you have to do is start running it, and it should be start being good. Once completely loaded, it's gonna show a logo that says Electrobyte, which is, you know, the creator of Mugen, as I said before, and then it's gonna load up into this. This is the main menu of my Mugen, Project Turtle. To heads up for anyone that you have crashing issues, Mugen is tend to crash sometimes depending on your computer's power. So this game I recommend if you have a average to very good computer, this will run really well. Low end computers is gonna suffer quite a lot, since some characters in my Mugen are a little bit, you know, high res and advanced for some computers. So I'm just saying that for those who have pretty good average to, you know, very good computers, this is gonna run very well. Though even with a good computer, it might crash a time or two when you play. Not very prone. I'd say that Mugen crashes for me about 85 to 90%. No, my bad. It doesn't crash 85 to 90%. My bad. I was gonna say something different there. Though it could vary depending on your computer, though. So it's gonna be prone to somewhat crash at some point, but it barely happens to me. Okay. Now let me teach you guys how to run through this. So in my Mugen Project Turtle, we have the normal thing, which most Mugen have. We got arcade mode, which is basically you go against CPUs in a single player match. You could also play this with a friend, by the way. There's versus matches, which fights you and a CPU. You and an actual player, and you could do there's many versions and modes in that specific thing. I'll go into detail later. There's co-op, where basically you play story mode, but with a partner, with, like, for example, a friend or whatever. That's co-op. There's survival mode, single and co-op, where basically you fight a wave of endless CPUs against the whole roster until you stop, until you like eventually die, and you keep the same health. You can both play this by yourself or with somebody. Training is very, you know, self-explanatory. You just go there and fight a dummy that's, you know, infinite lives. You know, you practice your skills, you know, practice combos. Very useful if you want to first try out some characters. Watch is basically fight between 2 CPUs, unless you want to like lay back and watch 2 CPUs fights. This is the way to go, which is watch. Then there's options, which, you know, very self-explanatory once again, as options of the game, which I'll be going to right now. So the options of the games are in here, okay? And here we got difficulty. By default, it's on hard, so we always have it on the hardest, though you could adjust it by going left or right to easiest one, but we keep it at hardest 8, since some CPUs have very bad AI, and we rather keep it to the hardest it can be. Then there's life. It can adjust how much life people have. I really leave it at 100, so you don't mess with balances, whatever, so just keep it at 100. Time limit, if you want, you could adjust how much time it has. Some people like no time limit. I like having time limit because it's kind of unfair for certain things. There's game speed, which basically you can change the speed of the game. I leave it as normal. Master volume, very important if you guys want to lower the volume. You could also do it on the mixer on your computer, but this is the more professional way to do it. I put it at 60 currently. Same thing with you know, sound effects volume, BGM volume. You know, these are just adjustments that you have to do depending on how you guys feel. Okay. Then there's team config and input config. Input config is very important since you guys want to use controller and all that. Okay. So let's get into that. Okay. I'll go into this in a bit. Okay. Okay. So basically, this is what I want you guys to remember. Okay. And if you guys don't know, I have instructions in Mugen announcements pins to show you guys how to fucking lay out your controls, okay? As in the next upcoming things I'm gonna say is gonna be a little bit confusing unless you have you know, a bit of knowledge on how to do this. So if you haven't, I'm gonna have a picture right here popping up of the controls and which one meets which. So this is how you're gonna do it. For keyboard, which most of you guys will be using, or it really depends. Here's my current keyboard config. I use fight stick, so I don't have any keyboard configs for player 1. But Knack here is a keyboard player. So basically, player 2 is Knack's controls. And by the way, these are the default controls you're gonna have when you both have Mugen. Okay. So if you guys are wondering how to move around when you first download the game, these are the controls: up, down, left, right. You know, normal, CXZ, DSA1. Okay. As before, these are the punches. No, my bad. These are the kicks, and these are the punches. And then start, it would be like a charge move, or most of the time a taunt. So this is the thing. You also could put on the game's default, but this for Project Turtle, when you first download it, this will be the default. Okay, so if you're wondering how to navigate, these are the controls you're gonna be having. Very important, by the way. This also goes to controller, by the way. Do not have the same controller inputs or keyboard inputs as the opposite player. For example, if I have up, down, left, right with like the arrow keys on player 1 as well, we're gonna be controlling the same exact character, and it's gonna lead into many issues. So basically, we're gonna control 2 characters at the same time. So I don't think you want to have that when you're fighting an opponent. So make sure when you're fighting PC player, let's say online or with someone at your house, make sure they have different controls than the opposite player. So make sure any of these controls, if say for example you like Knack's layout, make sure he doesn't have any of it on player 1. Okay, just letting you guys know. So also, just in case, I recommend that if you, let's say for example, want to be player 2 and not player 1, like you're not fighting against anyone, you leave this as a random thing like comma or something, so you don't guys mix up with the controls or whatever. Joystick. This is very important for joystick or controller players. Make sure you can connect the controller before you open Mugen. It's very important. So some people are saying, oh, it doesn't work, whatever, and leads into issues. Make sure you connect your controller before you open Mugen. Simple as that. When you do it, it's kind of self-explanatory. You do F1 and then you do inputs. Let me just show you that. You go up, down, left, right, my kicks, my punches, and then start. I have a fight stick right now. It's very simple. If you're wondering what controls are allowed in Mugen, you could use from PS4 to joystick, fight stick. It doesn't really matter. Though it gets more complicated if you want to say, for example, use a Nintendo Switch controller or a Wii U Pro controller, like controllers that I'm not really aware of. I don't know, but I for sure have confirmed that Xbox, PS4, and Fight Stick are able to be used in Mugen. Those are the 3 controllers major people use, and I've tested already that could be used. Okay, so make sure you have that config. Also goes to player 2. You F2, do your inputs, yada yada yada. Okay. And yeah, that's it for that. Okay, and make sure after you did all your keybinds and inputs, you go return back, and this is very important to every part of the settings. You do go to the right and press save. You save the option so it saves forever, and then load it if you need to. Okay, then there's also default values, which puts everything on natural default, which I don't recommend since I already adjusted to everything, so you have a good nice Mugen. The only thing I prefer you input and default your own is the controls, but that's really up to you. Okay. Alright, that's enough for options. Let's get into the game. This is arcade mode. Basically, you're gonna have here, we have single, semi, turns. Let me tell you each mode for that. Single, as it says in the name, you control one character, okay? You pick one character, you fight one other character, and against arcade mode. I recommend you use single as, it's really fun just to use your own main as, classic arcade experience. Semi is very self-explanatory, but let me explain if you guys don't understand. Semi is basically you put your character, you select the character, and then you select another character, which will be a CPU fighting with you as a teammate. Okay. This is if you want to fight against a teammate. I don't really use it that much. It's not really fun in arcade, but if you do play it, especially since a lot of the bosses in arcade mode are very difficult on your own, so I recommend if you want to. And then there's turns. Turns is a very nifty feature which I really like. Turns is basically you get to pick how many turns on each character you want to fight. So for example, on default it's 2 turns, so I get to pick 2 characters. Let's say for example I pick Zoro and Sanji down there. If I pick Zoro and Sanji, if I start out with Zoro, and if I die, my next turn I'm going to be Sanji. So basically you could adjust how many characters and how many turns you get with said characters you pick. Okay, the max is 4. You can have 4 any type of character, randomly select if you want to, characters of the roster if you want. It's very fun, though in arcade mode it's not my preference. So you press signal, and these are the and this is the roster, by the way. I haven't really gone into detail. So the roster, we have many different characters in Mugen, by the way. We have from One Piece characters to complete fan-made characters like Diablo Skeleton, you know, some random ass shit, you know. So we have a lot of different characters you guys could choose from. Okay, so we have One Piece over here. We got JoJo, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Persona, Devil May Cry, Fate, Street Fighter, and Marvel, DC characters, fan-made characters, Naruto characters, just Nintendo, just a bunch of characters you guys can pick from. Just letting you guys know, if you guys are wondering how to play specific characters, I'm going to, after this video releases, I'll be making separate videos on how to play specific rosters. The next video about Mugen, I'm probably going to do on how to play the Bleach roster, since it's very easy, very self-explanatory, and very short on the characters. Okay, so these are the Bleach roster. I'm going to make a video on how to play them. Okay, and yeah, that's it for arcade mode and the roster. Okay. Then we got versus. Versus is very simple. Same thing, you know, semi-turns, whatever. But this time you have player 2. Right now I'm using my keyboard to control the second player. So this will be, let's say your teammate, as in like a friend of yours who's at your house, or with using the application called Parsec, which I'll be going on later. So this will be just you and a teammate fighting it out. Okay. Oh, very important too. How to go back from a section, you press escape, okay? And if you press escape once more on the menu, you completely close the game. Just letting you guys know, okay? Then we got co-op, which is you and your teammate. I pick someone, and then your teammates pick someone, whatever. Very self-explanatory. Survival, as I said before, waves of people, same layout as before. Then there's training. Basically, just pick the character you want to train with, and the character you're gonna use as a dummy. And then we have watch, which is basically the same thing as before, but CPUs, and that's it. Now I'm gonna go into basics on how to play. Okay, so now how to play Mugen. Now a lot of people have been asking me how to play Mugen, and to be frank, if you haven't played a fighting game, you probably wouldn't know how to play Mugen. But my specific Mugen has a variety of different mechanics and fighting game characters, which can be confusing from a first comer, so like a newcomer, what should I say. So let me teach you real quick how to play Mugen, or should I teach you a little bit about a fighting game. So number one, let me show you one of the most basic fighting game characters in ever, Ryu. Now this Ryu is from Street Fighter 3, and he has a lot of mechanics that he has, okay, which are very basic, okay. And let me teach you some basic inputs on that forever overall fighting games, okay. On the upcoming videos on how to teach you guys how to play specific characters, you gotta need to know how to do certain inputs, okay, like quarter circle, how to do quarter circle forward, quarter circle backs, half circles, full circles, and all that. While Mugen, there's different ways how to say it, as in, like, for example, down, forward, which is basically the notation I'm gonna be using for now on. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna teach you guys how to do a couple things. So the basic thing is there's six basic buttons that you have in Mugen. Okay, you got your punches and your kicks. All right, these are your basic movements. Okay, they are very important, as most characters in this roster have those things. Well, each character are from different fighting games. Those are your regular normals. Okay, so when you do that, for example, light kick for most JoJo characters is stand button, as they don't have kick buttons. They only have light, medium, heavy, which were my punches. Okay, so it's not all characters gonna have that type of format, but it's good for you guys to remember that, as when I talk about, oh, it's light kick or quarter circle forward kick, yeah, those are the type of notations that you need to have in mind. Okay, so to do a basic input, let's do Hadouken. So Hadouken is down, forward, okay, with the joystick. Okay, and you do a Hadouken. Okay, that's a Hadouken. Okay, it's a very simple and reliable move, and that's it basically. And then there's a Shoryuken, which basically you go forward, down, back, forward. It's kind of weird. It's like this. That's the Shoryuken. Okay, and these are like the most basic fighting game inputs I need to know. Okay, and then a Hadouken. Okay, Since this guy's from Street Fighter 3, he has something called EX moves, okay? EX moves are very important, as a lot of characters do have these, where basically you do light punch and medium punch, and do the same input, and does an EX version of it, okay? And which is the fire one for me, alright? It's pretty cool, right? You also have kicks, by the way. Same as to do. Let's say you do the Hadouken motion, but backwards with a kick. It does Tatsumaki Senpuken, okay? And then forward is just, you know, this shit, okay? And that's it. These are your basic fighting game inputs, okay? Now to do supers. Now supers can vary depending on the character. A lot of supers can be complicated depending on the character, okay? So until then, you kind of really have to test around what inputs go which, all right? There's a lot of characters that have inputs that go down, down, back, down, down, forward, which basically I call them the SNK inputs, because SNK, which is a company, popularized it. So but not all supers gonna be like the basic ones. Were basically is the Hadouken motion twice, which is quarter circle forward, light punch, which is this, which is Senpu Hadouken, okay? You could do it with kicks and do it backwards to do different inputs, by the way. So it really depends on what character you pick, okay? This is a Street Fighter 3 characters. That means I have a parry. So I'm just letting you know, every character in this game has different mechanics. For example, I have a parry, which right there I'm using, you know, two of my hands right now. I have a parry mechanic. Basically, it's very simple. A parry just parries attacks and good for a counter attack, like that. See, it's very fun. Then options, which is, you know, your either your enter or one, whatever you use for the button, is usually just a taunt. But for some Bleach characters, they use it as a charge. So you really gotta look around the character much before you know decide on which is which. Okay, so just letting you guys know. Okay. Also, real quick, to pick different skins of the character, make sure all the buttons, all your punches, your kicks, and even the options button, holding it down and doing these, pressing the buttons, are different types of skins. Not all characters gonna have different color skins or different references of skins. Like for example, I believe Guts only has one shade of skin, so you really have to look into it. And by the way, some skins are banned in tournaments, so read onto that as well. So let me teach you a couple other supers, okay? Some characters have to pick their groove or super in the beginning of the match, so make sure you don't instantly leave, alright, before you instantly press any buttons before you start a match against these type of characters. As they, for example, this Iori is from Capcom vs SNK 2, so he has different types of groove, which is like his own mechanic. By the way, if you want to learn movesets before I upload them, make sure when you play each character you know which game there is, and you could also look up the moves from their actual respective games. So you don't need to know my help. You could just search it up and find out even combos and supers all on your own from different videos. But some characters are completely different, and as well as they have fan-made moves and supers that need a video to be like around them. But eventually I'll get to that, all right? But back to Iori though. You could also search up his movesets like I said before, but he has a very interesting super, which is quarter circle back and quarter circle forward, which is that special SNK input I told you earlier. It's this. It's pretty cool, right? It's like this huge input. Also, it's very interesting. I also have very similar things. So this is my Hadouken motion, which is Dosha, and then this is my Shoryuken motion. Very, very similar, right? And then I also have a Rekka move, which if I do quarter circle back once, and I keep pressing it like over and over again, like the same input, like 1, 2, 3. Those are called Rekka moves in a fighting game. They're very useful, and yeah, it's overall. Oh yeah, the grabs for each character. Each character have a different grab. Most grabs are both light buttons, but for some characters, well, the other 50% of characters is just go near them and press heavy punch, I believe. And you could like directionalize on which way you could grab them. Now this is like your basically only way to go through block or have use an unblockable, which is highly unlikely. Another fighting game input is quarter circle forward and then back, which is this little cool animation. Boom, it's pretty cool. Not all characters gonna have 2 supers. For example, Iori has 2 supers, which is the ones I showed you already. I forgot one last thing, by the way. And by the way, let me just let you know, this is the most high-res stage we have. As you can see here, it's very beautiful, but this stage does not handle well with low-end computers. So once again, if you do not have a good computer, this stage will fuck you up. As in, it won't fuck you up. It would just crash, really. Okay, but this is a really cool stage to beat. can't really run it. So anyway, let me explain a couple more things. So I have here are 2 JoJo characters, okay? A lot of people in my videos are just overall like JoJo, so let me teach you a little bit how to play them. So unlike before, I have my punches and my kicks. But here's the thing. My punches have been replaced with, same light, medium, heavy, right? But my light punch, medium punch, and heavy punch have become just light, medium, and heavy. As this character is from a game called Heritage from the Future. So most of my JoJo roster, if you see them, they're from Heritage. So if you want to learn movesets and all that, please search up Heritage movesets in combo videos, as they're exactly the same. Their inputs are the same, okay? So let me teach you a couple like super ideas, all right? And let's see it. I'm going to get you into supers, all right? Supers are mechanics, so you guys could do special or hyper moves during a combo, okay? So I have there's the different variations of super, and most people have 3 bars, like completely, while JoJo characters are prone to have more, like Dio and most Heritage characters have 10, and Giorno has 5, okay, since Giorno is a fan-made character. These characters are meant to do high combos, but most characters only get a couple level 1s, level 2s, and of course a level 3 or 2, okay? Rarely it's going to be more than 1 level 3, but anyway, each character have it. For me, this is my level 1. Well, this is not my level 1. This is just pressing light kick. So light kicks for most JoJo characters is stand, by the way. But a regular level 1 would be, let's say, for example, this button. This is knives. So that, as you can see here, took away bar. If you're wondering how to do the input, which I call the Marvel input. So as I said before, to do most inputs in the game, you do quarter circle 4, light punch, but it really differs. Or also could do light kick or just multiple different variations of it, okay? But let me get into it, all right? I call this the Marvel input, okay? Marvel inputs are basically you press 2 buttons at the same time and do the same motion as I said before. You do 1, 2, 3, and you do the motion, okay? So you press, for Dio right here, to do knives, you do light punch and medium punch, and then you do quarter circle forward once, by the way. But most Marvel characters, you have to do it twice, or you have to do it twice or once. But for me, it's once as a JoJo character. It's very important, as some people have it in their kicks, and they're both lights, both mediums, both heavies. It really depends on the character. You could check it out on your own, okay? Those are the many inputs you could look into, okay? And that was a level 1, by the way. He has multiple level 1s. He also has one with his stand on, which is faster and does slightly more damage as more knives come up, and also could do it from the air, as you can see here. Let me just a little bit of Dio shit. And of course, all characters have a level 3. I have one level 3, which is time stop, which is very difficult input, which I will put right here for you guys just in case, okay? So you do this. Oh shit. Za Wardo Tokyo Tomare. And then you do, your little supers. This is if you have full bar, by the way, which is very hard to pull off. And then, of course, Road Roller. Road Roller is the same input as I had to do knives, but the complete opposite direction. So, quarter circle back, light punch, and medium punch. And look at that damage, bro. That's a hella damage. And by the way, JoJo characters are already known to do hella fucking damage, as you can see here, okay? So, Zans are a very interesting thing, as that was my level. I think that's a level 2. No, that's level 1. So yeah, Dio does not possess level 2, but most characters are gonna have either level 1 or level 2. So that's basically how that goes down. All right. Now, some characters are going to be slightly different from the rest, all right? So these are the 2 characters that are kind of different from the rest. Different series, but somewhat similar. Not all characters are going to be using all the punch buttons and all the kick buttons. Some characters only use 4 buttons, some use only 3, some use only punches or kicks. These 2 only use kicks, as these do not, look, I'm pressing the punch buttons and they don't do anything. The only time they do use, a punch button is for, believe it's a counter or super, but for Ichigo, it's a super. For Archer, I believe it's a counter, but so the regular attacks are, light, medium, heavy, if you get to go Tencho, okay? And one thing that they do share, this Ichigo has in common, that he does not have a taunt, by the way. His taunt is, which is, usually options that I said before, is used as a charge. As I hold this, it does a charge move, right? Charges to charge up your bar instead of manually getting it like everyone else. But most characters have charge, but not replacing options. So that's a little tip for you. And as for Archer, he's a fake character, and every single fake character in my game only uses kicks. They do not possess any punch buttons or abilities whatsoever, or I believe so, okay? But most of their things are only dealt with punches, okay? And their options is usually a taunt, but I don't think Archer has a taunt. So as you can see here, I'm using keyboard right now. This is Archer. He only possesses light, medium, heavy kick. So those are a couple things you want to learn from him. By the way, if you want to know, Archer is top tier, so you definitely want to look into him. But unlike Archer, each go actually does use punch buttons for some things. Super. So this is light punch, just literally clicking, no even input, just light punch. I believe that's a level 2.5. It's very weird on him. And then it's I think medium punch is level 3 in base. Is it Getsu Gatensho? Yeah, it does really good damage for his shit. And then anything for heavy punch, no, just light and medium. So that's basically it for that. He also has transformations, but that's if I'm gonna go into the Bleach characters, that is. So that's it for that. Now, one of the mechanics in overall fighting games are how to block and how to avoid attacks. Now, many people seem to not really understand how to block in a fighting game. While some think it's very self-explanatory, some people need more help around that. So for Mugen and of course most fighting games, there's many different forms of block and how to avoid attacks. For example, first of all, how to block. To block normals, like for example, like say something like that, or like let's say a light punch. Let's say I'm gonna be Giorno. I'm gonna try block a regular attack. You just go backwards, and look, see, it automatically comes up the animation to block. Yeah, there you go. See, that's regular block. And then there's different types of block. So there's regular block, standing block, low block, and what is it? You could block in the air. I don't know the actual term for that, but it's just, you block in the air, like that. See, you can block in the air. Certain characters cannot block in the air. That's one of the things I want to say. Certain characters cannot block in the air. For example, I believe Street Fighter 3 characters like the Ryu I showed you guys earlier does not possess a jump a jump block or like blocking in the air mechanic, because he has pairing, so he doesn't really need it. But you know, certain characters like Luffy and most of the cast have you could block in the air, but you really gotta look around on which characters you have. Now, very important, certain characters have regular block. For example, let's say I'm attacking them, you know, then like, you know, oh, it's completely fine, you know, nothing's happening, right? You just regular block, you know, pushing them in the corner. This character, for example, I call the Marvel characters, which some of the One Piece roster are based off Marvel characters. You could tell by their super jump, which this is a super jump. To do this, you go up, down, and then up. That's how you do a super jump. I recommend you use that when you're trying to avoid like people who don't have super jump, you know, to avoid attacks, or to do aerial combos, which it was purposely made for. But certain stages in my game cannot, like, you know, focus on the Luffy when it jumps high. For example, this one is not one of them, but if a stage has zoom, which I know a couple of my stages do, you could definitely do some aerial combos completely fine. But one of the Marvel things that Luffy has is something called push block. Push block is very important and very amazing. I personally love push block. I think a lot of characters should have push block. It's like a godsend in a fighting game. This is what push block is. So let's say I'm blocking. Okay, wait, let me move this door now. Let's say I'm blocking. That's a push block. So to do a push block, you press all the punch buttons at the same time while you're blocking. Okay, you do this. You do this. Like that, and you just push them out. You could constantly do that. It's literally what's in its name. You block and you push them away a good distance to give yourself the advantage, so you could like move away from, you know, the corner and the pressure on a corner, or like you're getting pressured by a bunch of attacks. It's your key way to get out of it. So characters who do not have it might have a huge disadvantage, but doesn't mean you have a total advantage, as each character in Mugen are completely different and have their own advantage depending on who you fight. But I have to say, people with push block definitely are people you want to consider, as they literally could really take the turns in a fight. Okay. Anyway, that's basically how I do the push block and blocking mechanics. Now, certain characters do not actually have a normal block. As I said earlier, Scorpion and Sub-Zero have a block button, and which I believe it's heavy punch. So if you want to play Scorpion or Sub-Zero, please take that into account, that you need to have a block button. And if you're uncomfortable, just play anyone else in the roster. Okay, that's that. Now, one of the most important and very useful parts of the video is many people have been asking me, how the fuck do you play this game online, since it was originally played, it was a local type of game, and many people are curious how the hell is this gonna work. There's been many different options in the past. IKEA Man and all that with Hamachi and all that, but that's with the old internet that uses very old software that it still could be worked today, but it has constantly bad lag. This option, which I'm going to introduce you right now, is a way better option, which is an application called Parsec. It's a computer application. Parsec is a free word desktop capturing application, as it says here, that they basically video streams video games off a person's desktop or computer. So basically, you could play Cuphead, which is not originally for an online co-op thing, and you could like play together locally. And I believe you could add as many people as you want. So it's really useful, a very useful application. It doesn't need to be only for Mugen. I recommend everyone gets it if you want to play with your friends and all that, and just games on your computer that usually do not support online support. I know there's different options on Steam to play like with this sort of thing, but I personally recommend Parsec as the least amount of lag. And yeah, so anyway, if you want to get this, there's a link in my Discord to Parsec, but you could just search up Parsec on your whatever browser. Just search up Parsec, and Parsec, just get started, download it, make an account. It's very safe, very free. It's completely free, by the way. And yeah, just start gaming. This actually was advertised for many years. I don't know why no one's heard of it recently. Oh shit, my coin. But yeah, just I recommend everyone just gets the application and set it up. And once you do, this is what you're gonna do. All right, so when you first boot up Parsec, this is what you're gonna see. Okay. Well, actually, this is gonna see. My bad. Currently, these are all the computers I'm connected. These are my friends who I connect to. I play Mugen or whatever. You're gonna have nothing here. It's just gonna show your name, whatever. Once you log in and make an account, and I think you go through a tutorial. So this is basically gonna start out. And then we go through the settings and how to set up specifically for Mugen, or also gives you some tips for if you're gonna play this with anyone else. So basically, it's gonna be kind of a Parsec setup if you really think about it. So this is how you do it. So first, I'm gonna get to the most important part. This is called a proof app. So it's right next to hosting client. Approve apps is super important, okay? Because many people go up to me saying, "Oh, connecting computer is very unsafe," and all that. Oh, they could steal your IP or whatever, and all that. Which is this whole mechanic makes it completely safe. I myself don't use it when I stream because it lags my OBS. So if you're not using OBS, it's okay. I mean, when it connecting to Mugen, that is. Approve app makes it so that the person that connects to your computer only sees specific apps that you let it to see. So currently I have it off, but when I do turn it on, these are the current applications that are currently on. Over here, I have already automatically have it checked on Mugen. So make sure you have the application out first before you turn on Parsec, so that it could pop up what you could do. So right now, let's say for example, my friend, let's say not connected to my computer, I could choose which apps he could see. Otherwise, it would look completely black for him, and he cannot touch anything. No matter if I give him the choice of keyboard or mouse or whatever, it just could be completely pitch black. So make sure you pick the correct ones you want to pick. Or you could leave it off, which is kind of very unsafe since they could see your whole desktop. I myself have 2 monitors, so it's not too unsafe for me. But let's say for example we have another monitor, and someone could just activate your IP and stuff like that. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. I recommend you have this on if you're playing Parsec. Very specifically, just you guys, the viewers, unless you decide to like stream it or whatever, or like record it with someone you trust. I recommend you turn it off. But aside from that, just keep it on, okay, guys? Let's go around, do a rundown, okay? When a person connects to your computer, there's gonna be a couple options here. I currently don't have someone that can connect with me right now, but when you do, there's gonna be a couple options, which include giving them the options to either connect through a controller, give them permission controller, keyboard, mouse, etc. Okay. When you want to play with someone, like say Mugen, with someone, let's say for example they will use a controller or whatever, make sure you give them controller privileges. And of course, before you open Mugen, you have to hear the dun 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 when a USB is connected. That's when it will come out, okay? So make sure you hear that dun 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 sound effect on your computer before you start up Mugen, because that means it's officially connected. It sometimes might have issues where you have to keep plugging in and plugging in back in before you actually, hear a click, okay? So make sure you fix around that. Let's actually go into settings. Also, the same thing too. You give a person keyboard privileges so they can use keyboard, but be aware. I recommend you give someone keyboard privileges you can trust, and of course that it's completely up to you, but that's my opinion. Okay, let's go to settings. Now in settings is very important. Let's say you're the one hosting. Okay, let's say that you're the one hosting. Let's go through this one first. Okay, make sure you have hosting enabled. Your name, whatever, your bandwidth, your frames. Just adjust it however you feel. Display. So for example, if a person seeing your other display and you do not want that to happen, let's say you have more than one monitor, you could pick which one I have. I have 2 PvP monitor. This is my second one, which is the one you're looking at right now. I'm leaving it at that. It's really up to you. Echo canceling, very, very important, especially if you're recording or streaming, or just, you don't want to be irritating to your ears. Echo canceling always have to be on. It prevents echo from using Discord on the host computer, meaning when you're calling someone on Discord, they won't also hear the sound from the Discord and have a complete echo. So make sure this is on. Many times, this is, I'd say 90% of the time, there's always gonna be an echo when you start up on Parsec and when you're talking to someone on Discord. As me and Nak play all the time, and I always hear, he always hears an echo since he's joining me. To solve that, as the host, you kick out Nak. Kick out your person, or for me would be Nak, and then you close Discord completely, and then you turn on Discord again, call Nak, then make him rejoin, or your person, whatever, I keep saying Nak. Then he will rejoin you through Parsec again and see if it comes back. If it doesn't come back, it's good, but just keep trying it again. Or just let him join you through Parsec first, then Discord. It really depends, but it will take about like one try or two before it's completely fine for the rest of the time. So don't need to worry about that. I believe it literally the echo comes back after you restart your computer, like just reset it, but if it does come back, it's a very easy fix, but many people are confused about it, so it's very important you guys know that. As a client, so this is, for example, you're joining somebody else's computer, or Mugen, should I say. Display on, full screen. They're like, all these things you could look into the actual Parsec itself. You could really, edit it yourself if you want to, okay? Oh, I forgot the one thing in host. This is very important, by the way. This will show what type of gamepad is connected to computer. I currently have it on default by DualShock 4, which is PlayStation 4 controller, as most people that join me are PlayStation 4 controller type thing. Though you could also change the 360 if it doesn't work. From my experience, most Xbox controllers or regular controllers can connect completely fine when they use an Xbox, a PS4, or regular third party, if it's already on DualShock 4. Now there's some times where it doesn't work and then you actually have to switch to 360, but it's usually fine at DualShock 4. So, but this is very important if you're having problems with connectivity on your controller, so make sure you look into that, okay? And then I think that's it on that one. Now, let's say, for example, you do not want to friend everyone you fight on Mugen or use Parsec. There's a very easy fix to that. So there's something called right next to your, it says your computer name. For me, that's on this computer. You go to share, and it automatically copies a link to a clipboard. And on that, you could copy that link and go to Discord or whatever you use to communicate and paste that link to whoever you want to fight, and they could accept the link and join your computer, and it'll pop up, hey, this person wants to join. You accept them, you do approve apps and all the good stuff about that. All right, so that's another way you could do that. Of course, you could also add friends. These are my friends currently. You could add friends through friend name or ID. You can just add them and they'll join you. It's really up to you. And yeah, that's basically it. You also could connect other people. You could request to connect to other people if you're already friends, which is already self-explanatory. And I believe that basically wraps up the whole video. Hope you guys find that very helpful and enjoyable, because I certainly did. I'm currently recording after many days of editing and recording, so hopefully it was worth it. Hope you guys find this really helpful though. That's the most important part about it. Sorry if it's a little bit too long as well. I kind of expected it to be this long, but whatever it is, it was worth it in the end. Also, if you guys asking if I'm gonna make any more Mugen videos, of course I am. I'm really passionate about this project, so please guys just let me know in the comments what roster you guys want me to do next. So that's basically gonna be the next Mugen video, what roster I'm gonna do next. I think I'm gonna make like a poll on decide which roster you guys want specifically, because I have like a couple rosters I want to do first before we get to the complicated ones, or like the small ones, or like Devil May Cry and all that. So I really want to go into the smaller ones if we can. But anyway, just put I'm gonna make a poll on my Discord. So in my Discord, go to my Discord and say which characters you want to learn and make a video about. It'll basically be me not talking, just showing you guys off the moves, the specials, and like yada yada yada. That's it. Also, if you guys are here just for my my fan base on my Twitch and all that, and if you guys are wondering where I've been in my videos and how I kind of not been active on that, I've been mostly focusing on stream once again because I am a Twitch streamer, but I'm trying to make more videos. I'm starting with this one, so I'm trying my best, guys. Though I have a couple announcements to say. Number one, yes, I am having merchandise in my streams. By the way, I'm gonna make Coolkidlikesturtles licensed merchandise. Most that will be hoodies. Around Friday of my recording, I'm probably gonna start setting that up and start making it out. So I'm very excited for that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next Mugen / whatever video I do. See you guys.